Yes, I'm here. Yes. Welcome to this evening's meeting of the Overview, Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee.
Tell us about your painting the walls, Sandra.
Sorry?
I was going to say, tell us about painting the walls.
No, I haven't been painting the walls. I've had men here laying the floors all day. You should have heard the noise. It was like a machine gun going off. Can you hear any more? Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Has the mayor joined us yet?
Chair.
Yeah.
I think it looks like the sound is now up on the live stream.
I did some testing and she did.
Yeah. Just to let you know that the mayor is unable to get connection, so
right.
It'd probably be best to defer her item. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Just tell me when we're ready to stream, and I'm sorry, folks, we're going to have to go through the whole introductions again.
As soon as Emma lets me know, we'll start.
Thank you. Welcome to this virtual meeting of North Tyneside Council's Overview, Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee. I must apologise for the delay, but we've had some issues with the live streaming and some connection issues. So if you have been waiting patiently, thank you for being so patient with us all. Following the introduction of regulations to deal with the coronavirus pandemic, the regulations now allow us to have remote meetings. And my name is Councillor Sandra Graham and I'm chair of this committee. I'd like to inform everyone that this meeting is being live streamed on the Council's YouTube website to enable the public to observe the proceedings. And as I say, I welcome anyone who's had the tenacity to stay with us and is watching. Before we move to the agenda, I'd like to make it clear who's participating in the meeting and to explain how we intend the meeting will be conducted. In order to check who is in the meeting, I would ask everyone please to confirm their attendance, and I will call out the names of each committee member. And after I call your name, please turn on your microphone and your camera so people can see who you are and introduce yourselves. Can we start with Councillor Jim Allen?
Hello, Councillor Jim Allen, Councillor for Camperdown Ward and Deputy Chair of this committee.
Thank you. I won't say Councillor in front of everybody, but Alison Austin.
Hello, Alison Austin, Councillor for Monk Seaton North Ward.
Thank you. Brian Burgess.
Hello, Councillor Brian Burgess, Valley Ward.
Karen Clark.
Hi, Councillor Karen Clark, Long Benton Ward.
Thank you, Karen. Muriel Green.
Councillor Muriel Green, Wheatslade Ward, good evening.
Janet Hunter.
Janet Hunter, Benton Ward.
Anthony McMullen.
I'll Councillor Anthony McMullen, Wheatslade Ward.
Andy Newman.
I'm Councillor Andy Newman, Northumberland Ward.
Pat Oliver.
Hi, Pat Oliver, Benton Ward.
Martin Rankin.
Martin Rankin, Collingwood Ward.
Thank you. Debbie Cox.
Hi, Councillor Debbie Cox for Collingwood Ward.
Joe Kerwin.
Joe Kerwin, Councillor for Monk Seaton North Ward.
Willie Samuel.
Hello, Willie Samuel, Cullercuts Ward.
Thank Thank you. Michael Vine? He wasn't here earlier, so we'll move on to Stephen Fallon, who was here before.
Hello, Stephen Fallon, representing the Catholic Church.
Thank you, Stephen, for staying with us. And can I now ask the officers in attendance to introduce yourselves, stating your name and role within the council. And again, when I call your name, please turn on your microphone and camera and introduce yourself. So we have Janice Gillespie.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Janice Gillespie, Head of Resources and Chief Finance Officer for the authority.
David Dunford.
Thank you, Chair. David Dunford, Senior Business Partner in the Finance team.
Thank you. Mark Langstaff.
Good evening, Chair. Mark Longstaff, Head of Commissioning and Asset Management with the North Tyneside Council.
Thank you. Colin MacDonald.
Good evening, Chair. Colin MacDonald. I'm the Senior Manager for Technical and Regulatory Services.
I think we have Margie Burtis with us.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm Margie Burtis and I'm the Partnership Director for the Capita Partnership.
Thank you. Paul Wheeler.
Hello, Chair. I'm Paul Wheeler from Democratic Services.
Thank you. I think Councillor Bruce Pickard may be here.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Bruce Pickard, Riverside Councillor and Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. We were also to have the Mayor, Norma Redfern, with us this evening, but again, she's having connection issues. So the item 5 on the agenda will be deferred until the next meeting, which is the annual report of the elected Mayor. So for today's meeting, we must deal with some formalities. Any apologies for absence?
No apologies, Chair.
Thank you. Can I remind members to declare any matters of interest and confirm and let Paul know if there are any declarations of interest that you may have. If there's none, I shall move on to the minutes of the last meeting. Can I confirm those minutes of the 7th of September 2020?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
And the agenda papers, we follow on with item 6, the Efficiency Savings Programme 2021 Q2 Progress Report. So I'll ask the relevant officer to introduce the item, and then I will be asking members if they have any questions or any comments. And can I just remind people they should mute their microphone and turn off their video unless they're speaking. I may find it difficult because I'm just on my phone to see who's indicating they wish to speak, but I'm sure Paul will let me know. So thank you very much.
Okay, Chair, it's Janice here. Are you happy to maybe go ahead?
I am, Janice. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So thanks, Chair. This is the second report to overview and scrutiny on the position on the efficiency statement. So this takes us up to the Q2 forecast in terms of the efficiencies for the current financial year. The report continues to be in the standard format that the committee have received the information before. And I guess taking to the highlights really on page 3, the final part of paragraph 3 sets out that we have 178,000 that has been delivered against the whole overall target, with a further 1,068,000 expected to be delivered. But 2.732 million continues to be a challenge to be delivered this financial year. The report sets out largely that the delivery issues are in respect of those areas that have, I guess, a significant impact of the COVID pandemic that we are seeing. So the services continue to look for other options to deliver those efficiencies. And it's probably important to point out that what we do report through to central government is that the impact the COVID has on the delivery of efficiencies overall in terms of that financial return to MHCLG. So we do take it into account when we're reporting our COVID financial impact and the grants that we're receiving from central government to support that. but nevertheless, the services continue to look for alternative mechanisms by which they can deliver those efficiencies, because clearly they could have impact into future years. But I'm happy to take any questions. I have David here as well. We will answer as far as we can, but if there are specific service questions, we may need to get answers for you from the specific services.
Thank you, Janice. This is quite a long and comprehensive report. Can I ask members if they have any questions? Paul, is anyone indicating they have any questions?
I can't see any hands up, Chair.
No? Okay. Would anybody like to make any comment? Just to say, Janice, thank you so much, and the team, for all that you do. You know, juggling the little money that we have and all the extra expenditure we've had with COVID, you're doing a magnificent job. And I know you've been looking at treasury management and all sorts to save pieces of money here, there and everywhere. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a whole team effort across the authority. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank you for being patient, staying with us this evening. Can I ask them to note the report?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Janice. If you don't need to stay, feel free to leave us if you wish to. We've continued on to item 7. And this is me. As you know, Overview and Scrutiny and Finance committees have continued to meet and be live streamed since the pandemic almost began, and we've been talking with other subcommittees about the work that they've been doing, because some of them have been having informal meetings, but Scrutiny is too important, even with the pandemic, to be leaving it. And the idea is that formal meetings will resume and are resuming and have taken place with some of the subcommittees. And this report is to give you a flavour of what has been going on. I know we have some of the chairs and deputy chairs of some of those committees here this evening, and I'd just like to throw the matter open for any comment that anybody might want to have.
Chair Karen Clark.
Karen, would you like to just say what you want to say?
Yes, Chair, thank you. It was just under the Adult Social Care, Health and Wellbeing Subcommittee. It was just a slight update since the report in relation to the Livy contract. We were invited to have a representative on the evaluation subgroup. And just to inform the committee, that representative is Councillor Paul Richardson. And I believe Paul has attended one of the evaluation meetings and will be having an update at our next meeting on the 3rd of December.
That's really good. That's good to hear.
It is,
I think
yes.
we're all quite surprised when that was sprung on us. So thank you very much for that, Councillor Clark. Any other comments?
Jim Allen, Chair.
Councillor Allen.
Hello, Chair. On page 11, the Culture and Leisure Subcommittee, I think it was agreed at the meeting, the last meeting, that we would look into the allotments. We've got a draft allotment strategy, and I think we agreed that we would have a subgroup that would look into allotments in general.
Right, okay. Thanks for that update on that, Jim. I heard today there's more women with allotments now than men. It's on the radio today. So that'll be interesting to see what comes out of your subgroup.
There's no others indicating, Chair.
So we'll move forward with that and get Scrutiny up and running in a formal way, so that the members of the public can actually see what's being said, and may have some comments to make or whatever. But it's just very good to be open and transparent. So and just carrying on from that, the budget scrutiny subgroup will be meeting on the 17th of September. 17th of December, to start the work looking at the budget, and the second meeting will be the 2nd of February, and an invitation will be going out shortly for any other people who may want to join that subgroup, although we may put numbers on it because it's quite unwieldy to try and manage on a Zoom meeting when you've got lots and lots of people in. So we'll try and balance it and have as many people as we can, but make it effective. And the scrutiny of the ONG partnership is to be restarted on the 9th of December as well, because we started that one on lockdown. I think the last meeting was something like the 18th of March, around that time. So that's restarting as well, so we can scope that one out. So that's starting again on the 9th of December. So just a little bit of an update. We move on to item 8.
Chair, can the committee just agree and note that last report, please?
Oh, sorry about that. Are members happy to note that report?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
We move on to agenda item 8. The technical services quarterly update from Capita. Is this a double act with Colin and Margie?
Yes, Chair, I'll just provide a short introduction, if I may. Happy for me to carry on? Yeah, okay. I think just from a council officer point of view, before Margie steps in and walks us through her presentation, is that I think members of the committee are pretty well conversant by now that our Capita colleagues are asked to come to you and just go through what their activity has been with respect to the delivery of the partnership within the authority over the last quarter. On page 16 of the papers, under paragraph 3, it sets out really the kind of the two main aspects of the partnership that is reported into you, and that's the monitoring of the annual service plan, which is set every year and monitored throughout the year, and secondly the benchmarking element of the contractual commitments that we've got, or Capita have got with us. And I suppose it's that second part that I just draw your attention to this evening, because I know that when the study group did its work and Cabinet responded at the beginning of 2019, members of this committee wanted to be kept informed of the benchmarking process. You received a report following the 5-year mark of the partnership, following the scrutiny report, and heading into year 8 of the partnership, which is where we're headed to now, is that you as a committee wanted to be involved within the benchmarking aspects and how that would be done. So just a bit of a flavour as to setting the scene and the context, and I'll hand over to Margie, who will take us through the information.
Thank you very much, Colin. That's really useful. I'm introduce Margie Burgess from Capita.
Thank you, Chair. I'll share my screen. I think with your permission, if it's helpful, I'll if I can get to the main points of the presentation, and I'll spend less time on some of the others unless any members have questions, if that would be helpful, because I know you do want to get to the benchmarking part of it and the performance part.
I'm sure members will say if they don't agree with that, or if they've got any further questions.
Thank you. Right, so can everybody see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as usual, we've got we're actually reporting on 2 quarters this time, because with there being I think a meeting was missed. So we last time we reported to you on the outturn of the last financial year, and also on the plan that we're now monitoring against. So this time we're reporting for the first 2 quarters of the current year. So it's April to September. So it's a slightly longer reporting period than what we've brought to you before. So covering all of the usual issues, but with the addition of the approach to benchmarking to get your consideration on. So operational highlights. There's a few good bits of work that have been done in the last 2 quarters. And you can see those on the screen. We've secured some long-term leases, and the work's been done on the sea wall. We've also had to introduce something. It might not have had visibility of this, but the Department of Transport introduced a whole new national system that we had to use for doing highway permits. So we've introduced that, and we were one of the first councils to go live with that. So that's taken place. Moving on now to some of the added value activities, and just to pull out a couple of these. Capita now as a business have got staff on all of the management teams right through to the top of the company. So right in the board of the company there is an employee ambassador, and so we've appointed ours now into our management team, him and Monks. So he's the staff employment and wellbeing ambassador. So he's focusing mainly on staff wellbeing. He works in our engineering team. We've continued the charitable work and the volunteering as you would expect. It's changed a little bit from what we'd planned in some instances, because we've done virtual volunteering hours. So that's been things like virtual work experience for schools where we've recorded people's career progressions, etc. But we've also given 10 Chromebooks to Norham High School for students. You might know that they had a campaign to give every student a laptop or a Chromebook. And we've also helped Mediwell Connected with an awning to allow them to use their outdoor space. I'll talk to you about apprentices later, but we've actually recruited 5 new apprentices at the moment. So all at the same time, which is great. Moving on, I think I mentioned last time that Investors in People, we'd heard that we got it and we were waiting on the formal report. So we did get silver in Investors in People, and we benchmarked ahead of other companies in the same sector. So we were in the upper quartile, which I think is useful and will help us towards benchmarking as well. Schedule 10 commitments, I think I've covered these elsewhere, but we're fully on track with meeting all of our social KPIs for those 2 quarters. Again, I only show this work that we've been doing with Avant Homes really to show that a good job was done and Avant were happy. But what it's helped us to do is we've been able to put some of our trainees to have the experience of doing this work. So Michelle Macbeth, who's a trainee quantity surveyor, she's been able to get involved in the design of this, which has helped her with the work she needs to do for our final qualification. So it does have added value as well as community benefit. So people update again. Just to pull out a few things on here, we've had some staff promoted, we've had staff getting additional qualifications, which is great. We've took on a lot of new apprentices, and we've had 14 new starters, 8 of which are new jobs, so growth positions. And we've got a thing that we've been doing in Capita called Working Together But Apart, which is a pledge about how we support our colleagues when everybody's not in the office. Then the case study for this time, which you can read, we really wanted to share with you about Susan. Now, Susan worked from the council since she left school in the planning team. She transferred across to us, but she hadn't done any formal training since she left school, but she's just got and passed her level 4 business administration, which is a marvellous achievement. She's done really well. And hopefully that'll see her do very well in her future career. Moving on to COVID support, excuse me. So the work continues really. Happy to do what the council need us to do to help the effort. Joanne Lee and the public protection team have been very busy working with the Wendy and others in just doing everything that we need to do for the outbreak control and making sure people are following the rules. We've also supported the temporary pavement licences, and the property team have been working to help look at where the sites are. So as a partner, we do what we need to do to support the council. Moving on to the performance update. So just to update you. And I don't know how much visibility that there's been of this, but the government issued 2 public procurement notices, PPNO 220 and PPNO 420, that us as suppliers and the council as a client were asked to comply with. So we did comply with those public procurement notes, and in that we continued to deliver what service we could. And the council worked to let us have some lets on services that weren't being delivered. So, for example, some KPIs, if we'd suspended a service, we weren't delivering it, or if the council had prioritised another service, we wouldn't be delivering certain things that weren't a priority. So when you look at our performance this time, you'll see some of it you'll see as red, and then if there's a COVID impact on that'll be corrected when we do the next set of reports. And some of them are grey, where things were absolutely stood down. So you'll be aware that Capita Performance over the life of the partnership has only ever had one KPI failure that's required a penalty. There'll be no penalties for KPI failures where we weren't running the services. So just to give you that explanation, hopefully that made sense. So looking through the performance, all of the cross-cutting action plans were at green. A lot of these, it's preparatory work, and then the detailed work takes place later into the year. So that's the reason for that. Cross-cutting KPI dashboards. You'll see time taken to respond to stage 1 corporate complaints was one that during July and August dipped into red. It was 1 in each instance, and that was due to have availability of officers to do the work in time. Moving on to properties, I think members will be aware that this is one of the things that the council paused as a result of COVID, that we weren't going to be pursuing lease renewals and other debt decisions. So that's why that particular indicator's behind. Likewise, that KPI there is red for the duration. Not because Capita haven't done it, but because it was paused by the council. And similarly, the Prop 1.1, the PI on property, percentage of lettings completed on time, there were delays there because of processes not being fully stood back up.